Hey you Outlander fans, want to know a few things about the upcoming season? Listen in because we're about to tell you all we know. First, one of the most important things you need to know is Season 6 will be returning in March this year. Next, we'll go into a little deeper and talk about Claire, Jamie, and Frank. Then we look into a rumor surrounding Diana Gabaldon and Sam Heughan. Lastly, we finish off discussing Season 7 and if it'll be the last. So to start off, we'll be going over what to expect for Season 6. The sixth season is set to return at 9 p.m. on March 6th, which is a Sunday. The season will air on Stars and will be based on the book titled Breath of Snow and Ashes. It follows the events in the fifth season where Claire returned to the Ridge after she escaped an unpleasant encounter with Lionel Brown. Her and her husband Jamie Fraser now aim to keep peace and grow in a negative society. Jamie and Claire are now attempting to defend their land that was granted to them. The land was granted to them and was meant for them and their immediate family. This land is where they will lay the foundation for their family. The series premiere is set to be a lengthy 90 minutes long. Also, Season 6 will be 8 episodes long and will be centered around the American Revolution. So will Claire and Jamie be able to keep the land that was inherited to them? Jamie will soon have to face the Muse and choose to walk the path of loyalty, or she could end up sticking to the oath she swore to. What will come of her and Jamie? Sophie Skelton opened up on how her character Brianna is going to care for Claire in the new season. Those who have tapped into Outlander know that Brianna and Claire have had their share of ups and downs. A mother and daughter's relationship is something that runs deep, and they've been on good terms for a bit now. Sophie had revealed in a YouTube video that Brianna is going to look out for Claire this season. Brianna's taking care of her while she recovers from what Lionel Brown did last season. She was kidnapped by Lionel's men as they abused her. Next up, let's get into Claire, Jamie, and Frank. So anyone who's read the book series knows there's a lot that Jamie and Claire have gone through. They've been strong enough so they know how to fight through the trauma, and they've even been able to come back to each other when they get separated. The two have found their way to each other, even if they came from centuries apart or long distances. When the time comes and it's their time to die, fans wonder how they'll go, and it's something they ponder over the most. Arthur Gabaldon said, "No, I never said she wouldn't die, did I? But a lot of things happened to her in this book, as well as to Jamie." Being Gabaldon's worded in this way, it's possible she didn't want to divulge this information and keep it a mystery as to what happens. So that's the big question in the end. Does Claire survive and make it through season 10 alive? But Claire's old husband Frank got through a number of things. Frank was Claire's husband in the 19th century. When she traveled years back into the 18th century, that's when she met Jamie and married him. Enough of that thought, let's talk more about Jamie and Claire throughout the series. As you know, Claire is a nurse as well as a doctor who time travels. She ended up traveling back in time while she was on her honeymoon with her first husband Frank. For those who aren't aware, when she traveled back in time and first met Jamie, she awoke and stumbled upon a duel between English dragoons and Scottish cattle raisers. She first befriended Jamie and eventually developed feelings over time, and the two later married. Now let's talk about a rumor between Diana Gabaldon and Sam Heughan. There was a rumor going around saying the two were dating. Keep in mind, they've been playing as husband and wife since 2016. I guess because they're such good actors, fans started speculating that the two were actually dating. Diana has since set the record straight, saying the pair are purely on-screen lovers. In a recent interview that Kate gave, she revealed that she's a persistent fan group that are convinced her marriage in real life is a scam. Her husband is Tony McGill, and no, her marriage to him isn't fake. There are fans so extreme they even go to extreme measures. When she and Tony were set to be married in 2019 at the Secretary of the Church, fans kept calling and harassing the marriage hall. Ever since fans were extreme at Kate's wedding, she's since kept her personal life under wraps. So when she gave birth to her first child, she became overly protective and didn't want to reveal anything to social media. She had this to say about it: "It's sad because you meet the loveliest people who are fans of the show and they're super supportive and they do the nicest things. And then you have that little thing, which just taints it. It's unfortunate that all because of some extreme fans, she felt the need to withhold things from everyone. Kate even revealed a few other downsides of the series is that she films for 9 to 12 months out of the year, so not much time is left to do or take a role in anything else. As for Sam, although he isn't married, he also isn't romantically involved with Kate. In fact, Sam hasn't had time for a love life due to the fact filming for the show takes up too much time. He had an adorable thing to say regarding the relationship his character portrays on screen. He said, "The love that Jamie has for Claire, it would be amazing to find something like that myself." But he realizes it's tough adjusting to a committed relationship when your career demands so much of you. Now let's discuss season 7, and we wonder, will it be the final season? Now there's no need to get ahead of ourselves. I mean, season 6 hasn't even aired yet, but it has been confirmed by executive producer Meryl Davis that season 7 is already underway. Season 7 is projected to contain 16 episodes to make up for the fact that season 6 will only have 8 episodes due to COVID restrictions. Catriona confirmed she got the scripts for season 7 by saying, "The first 2 eps are in my inbox, so it's exciting. We're gearing up to get back on it. It'll be a tough one. We'll be shooting for a whole year." So in the words of Dougal Mackenzie, we're going to gird our loins. Season 7 is said to be loosely based on the 7th book called An Echo in Bone. It said some scripts from season 6 will be used in season 7. The 7th season of Outlander got renewed in March of 2021. The main cast is set to return, and Valve admitted she wanted to have a part in directing. The CEO of Starz, Jeffrey Hirsch, said a spin-off of the show could be a possibility. He said, "We think there's a lot of opportunity in the Outlander universe to have story extensions or spin-offs or sequels. We continue to look at that with our partners at Sony." So we're excited to see what could come after the 6th season. Being season 6 is releasing Sunday, March 6th, we can expect the 7th season to debut around the same time for season 7 in 2023. Can we expect to see any new actors in the future season? The son that Geneva and Jamie share will probably be projected as an older kid now. Fans had even told the Daily Record they would love to see a model or singer in the show, such as Ed Sheeran. Although there aren't any spoilers known about the 7th season, Kate had admitted the season's going to be tough to film. So what could she be hinting at? Must mean something big or tragic could happen in season 6, and then that leads to whatever is rough about season 7. Valve talked on Josh Horowitz podcast and said, "At 3:30 this morning when I was feeding my son, I got an email with the first 2 scripts. I started reading the first episode. Then my eyes were getting crossed, so I'll have to look at that another time. Must have been an eventful script if it became too much for her to read." So do we see a season 6 in our future? Well, it seems as though Starz will keep the series going as long as there are still Gabaldon books available. There you have it, Outlander fans. We gave you all the information about the upcoming series. We even gave insight as to what the 6th season's based on. And the biggest question of all, does Claire die in the future, and what could happen to Jamie? So we know we're expecting a season 7, but could we even see hopes of an 8th? Let us know your thoughts.